Alrighty, it is that time of week for your weekly fantasy therapy session. It's time for the weekend wash up. As always, I am your host, Matt Craig, and joining me from home is none other than the man formerly on fire, David Bushell. Mate, how was your week away?
It was good, mate. It was a good trip until the last morning when the famous illness that you get when you go to Bali got me. So, I've been struggling for the last 24 to 48 hours. So, hence I'm at home and hence we didn't do it yesterday. Not because my team performed so poorly, which it obviously did.
I've got to query this because you said you've been feeling unwell, and I'm starting to. I know you said you felt unwell, but I think you've just been putting this podcast off after that weekend because I'd be feeling unwell as well.
Yeah, mate, it was poor from the boys. I don't know what happened. I think, look, when you just get a bunch of average scores, it ends up in an average total score. So that's pretty much what happened for me this week. And far out. A bit of a killer. No,
completely fair. We are getting a little bit comfy recording it remotely. We'll try and get back in the studio next week. But let's get into it. So the weekend wrap. We'll start with the Socceroos, as we've kind of been going over every week. Unfortunately, knocked out in the early hours of Saturday morning while never having a crack. So just all I've got to say about that is just once again full haram and disgraceful coaching, which is becoming a bit of a theme for teams I support.
Yeah, that was a disgraceful display, really. Not disgraceful, but far out. Like, especially when it got to what they did just before the penalties with taking old Beachy out and putting Ryan in, and then the centre backs taking the pens as well.
Yeah, not disgraceful by the players at all, by the way. Just by how they're set up, and I mean, you've got your own Kunda up front, who's literally not a striker. It has to be because we refuse to play more than one or two attackers because everyone's got to defend and we've got to park the bus against fucking Egypt. And despite dominating the large majority of that game, then they just sat in a fucking 9-man block. So, honestly, they got what was coming. Old Beachy, probably our player of the tournament, dragged, sending up an 18-year-old centre-back to take a pen. When we got a bloke out there who scored a pen in a Europa League final. The whole thing was honestly fucking bizarre. It felt to me like he was making that move to try be the genius and look like a fucking genius. So, anyway, they're done, but the World Cup's been great. What a game this morning as well. England.
Yeah, that was good. So, hopefully a couple more to come.
Yeah, so, look, the soccer's been great. The AFL... not so great for us over the weekend. Looking fantasy-wise, just once again, the same story every week. Nobody's surprised. It's the forced trades. They're bloody never ending. So once again, it is a player that everyone owns. Like, nobody's dodging these bullets. Whitfield goes down with a concussion on 67 at halftime. It's almost a given, you'd have to say, with old Whit, that he's going to go down early in a game with a head knock. What are our thoughts here? Hold or trade?
It's hard. Well, look, I think was it Drew Jones posted today that he's pulled up all right, so it's something that looks like it's going to be the classic 10 days, meaning he'll be back for that game against Essendon. And if you saw what the St Kilda defenders did to Essendon over the weekend, or players, maybe it's best to hold.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you've got to look at what's happened to Essendon in the last couple of weeks. It's actually becoming beyond farcical at this point. It's probably worth flagging that obviously he's got the history of head knocks. So if he doesn't pull up great after a couple of days, then you would think that they're not going to risk him against Essendon and they might be extra cautious. We've seen that with Tim English during the year. So it's got to be flagged. But if he is back and fit, like, that's a 150. So I don't know. It's that time of the season where we should be just going, bang, nah, you're out this week, see you later. But we've got a sideways trade and we've been going in circles for 3 months. So, at some point we've got blokes like Banksy. We have to hold with.
Yeah, mate, I'm in that boat, unfortunately. Like, I was trying to work out a way to trade out Witt to maybe someone like a Wilkie or something and go Banksy to Royal Marshall for a couple of weeks, but yeah, I'm a few K off that, so it looks like I'm just gonna have to do the classic upgrade, downgrade, and hold Whitfield.
Yep. No, I think a lot of us are in the same boat there. Our Baz hold that cost us 34 points, so that's a bit of a joke.
So that was more on like the vice captain, right? Going with him as vice.
I mean, the people that didn't hold... If I didn't have Baz, it was kind of a no-brainer of you have to have a look at Nick Dacos. Yeah. He goes 111. Number one, we've already spoken about the risk of looping this year, so you want to avoid looping if you can. We're taking 111 on every day, especially with Nass against Essendon. And I know a lot of coaches, did that. A lot of coaches up the top would have done that and walked into a fucking 160. So, good for them. Pretty unlucky for us, I'd like to say. But yeah, Baz with a 92 on return.
That's harsh, but I tell you, it was looking big early, like, and then it just didn't get it done. That was brutal. So still went 126 to be fair to him or whatever it was, but far out.
We've got him. They've got to get him, and as we're kind of seeing, it can be quite hard to get blokes back in when there's forced trades elsewhere.
Yeah.
Okay, look, we don't want to talk about my side too much, but we have to talk about this because it's actually getting a little bit concerning now. The rucks. It's getting to the point where the curse of my fantasy team is starting to potentially end players' careers. I don't think I'm going overboard when I say that. Tim English... All right, this is the bloke that's gone 117 before. We were all up and about in pre-season, paying 1.15 million for him. Here we go. Like, the rules are going to suit him, what have you. Okay, get unlucky early, like, has a few poor scores, if we're being honest. Gets injured, comes back, and then Bont, who's been fucking great, smokes him and puts him back in the dark room. So there's concerns there. Maybe he's not 100%. What we saw on Friday night was possibly the end of Tim English's career. I don't know. They dragged him. They had to drag him out of the ruck because he was getting beaten so bad and thrown a full back. And Tim English down back. He might as well just not play.
Yeah. That was insane. So he was down back pretty much the whole second half, wasn't it? Or was it like four down?
I don't
back,
know.
But
didn't change.
He was out of the
didn't
ruck.
change his fucking scoring. 53 points for old Tim. So I thought it was bad when I was getting 80s from him and I've held him, and it's somehow getting worse by the week. This is getting fucked now. So having a look at him, how you can go to the trade history and see what they've done after you traded him. Don't worry about that with Timmy for me. I've held him all season. So 11 games I've got out of him for an average of 84.6, a season price change of negative $355,000. The last 5 now of 78. Missed 4 or 5 games, in which I reckon McAndrew probably out-averaged him when I look at it.
Yeah, probably.
It's fucked. It's beyond fucked. And why I still have him at this point, I mean, we see the injuries elsewhere every week. And it's not just Timmy, right? Now it's Darcy Cameron. Well, I've ended his career too. He's done.
Yeah,
He's done at the top level.
He's been poor.
68 points, shithouse. He goes bang, bang, 100, 100. Oh, here we go, Darcy Cameron, solo ruck. Again, the rules should suit him. He's an around-the-ground player. Now he's pumping out 50s and 60s. Again, untenable in the ruck for Collingwood. They're kind of getting away with it. I'm ending careers.
Untenable, I love that.
Oh, he's fucked. He's shithouse. So, I don't know. And then I'm left here now with... Look, at least the idea in my head was, well, it'll get to this point, round 16, 17... And I'll be able to make the decision of who's performing worse out of Tim English and Darcy Cameron. They can go to a red dot and I'll keep the other. Well, how do I choose who's performing worse out of Tim English and Darcy Cameron? Throw in Banksy, all right? Who's a bigger priority to get rid of, English or Banksy? Well, I actually don't know. It's an impossible decision.
Yeah, it's a pretty hard one. I mean... There's an argument to be had that Tim English should have been gone about 15 weeks ago, but we'll leave that in the past.
Yeah, it's got to be something. It's got to be something in my coaching. They don't perform for me. So, look, I'm going to have to review over the off season, go into next season because I've tried going cheap. It doesn't work. I've now paid to the very top multiple times. Hasn't worked. So now I'm like, fucking, I'm lost. I really am. Yeah. It's just fucking, I don't know.
It's a tough line.
Do not pick the rucks. No, do not pick the rucks that I pick. Because you know it's going to be shit.
Yeah, that's a good strategy for all other coaches.
100%. If you get any advice out of this pod, follow that one. And just lastly, from the weekend, we spoke a little bit about focusing on the fixtures for the remainder of the season. Well, we've got 7 weeks to play the new game of who plays Essendon.
Oh. Because
that on Sunday afternoon was wild.
Yeah, I was on the plane on fighting for my life on Sunday, but I wish I was at home watching the game because it would have been it looked like fantasy I don't know, folklore, because Max Hall was on for one of the greatest games of all time at halftime, it looked like.
I mean, mate, we love Max Hall, right? But when you see Max Hall on 117 at halftime and Brad Hill on 80, and Brad Hill, and we had flagged Brad Hill, the halfback role before the buys. Just with all the carnage that was... I mean, we needed a forward for Brent. Now, obviously, Rowan was the obvious one, and he did well. So I'm glad that went well. If anyone did go Brad Hill, fucking fair dues, because we kind of knew he had the Jack Sinclair role, and he was going into Essendon. 159, though. I mean, these are... Jesus. So whatever we're starting to bring in a bit of a Richmond tax, Richmond scaling. We're gonna have to bring in some even bigger Essendon scaling because it's fucking crazy. And looking at next week, the Brisbane Lions. I think I've got to captain him.
Will Ashcroft.
Young Will. What a turnaround for washed up hero Will Ashcroft.
He's gone through some trials and tribulations with us, so. Yeah,
you're gonna have to get on board.
I think he might come in at this stage. He might.
All right, scores for the weekend. It's concerning when my team beats yours. To be honest, we hate to see that. 22-94 because it was still poor, but my actual overall team is kind of performing all right outside of the Banks and Rucks disaster. And those 2 issues, well, one should never have happened, and one should have been sorted weeks ago. But forced trades have us going in circles every week. I'm doing my best. If I can get 2 luxury trades next week, I should be able to have my team looking okay, but I think we all know that's not going to happen. So anyway, I'm ranked just over 2K. It's all right. I can definitely, with a bit of luck, push towards the top 1,000 because my team's all right. But it's just the same blokes every week that are costing us.
Yeah, mate. It's hard. It's been a tough slog, and
mate. It sounds like you've had a very long week. You sound fucked,
mate. I've been fighting for my life the last 24 hours. I told
Your score's not that bad. What'd you get?
My score's pretty bad at the top. 2,284. So that was 19k for the round, 33rd. So that was probably what I dropped. Like 13 spots, something like that.
So your rank is basically blown out with that, and my rank actually went up. So that says a lot.
Yeah, I just don't know. Like, I was looking at my team. I don't really know what's happened. It's just more along the lines of just a bunch of average scores. So like a lot of scores in the 80s and 90s. When a lot of other teams were getting those bigger tons, I'd say pretty much is how I would describe it. A couple 60s, like from guys like De Goey and Bont didn't help, obviously. But then when you've got like. We've got Nick Newman who's scoring 88 against the Tigers versus like people have Bailey Dale going, what did he go, 130? Like it's a big difference. So that was pretty much where I was at.
I think you're fairly a bit dirty at Newman for that because that's a big one. I think most people have, the blokes like Tagoe, and well, you would have been struggling recently without Tagoe. And a lot still have Bont, regardless of his poor form. Like Nick Newman is probably a bit of a differential for us versus, say, a Bailey Dale.
Yeah.
And, that's a killer one. Obviously, we've got Banks back there, which probably the top teams, hope that avoided a few injuries, probably didn't have to go there, so they might have been able to cover with HHK when we were starting him and just quietly, okay, Whitfield went down, but it was a good call to start HHK.
Yeah, it was. It was good assistant coaching from you. on what was it, Thursday night, Friday night?
Obviously, you're slightly off the ball over in Barley, having a good time, and sometimes your assistant coach has to step up. So
absolutely.
I was proud of myself for that one.
Nah, you did well there. Actually funny, clicking on Banks, he's owned by 11% of the top 1%, so that says all you need to know about that bloke.
Yeah, look, he's a differential up there, isn't he? Look, it's a tough old scene. But look, he'll bounce back. I think the team's still solid. Just need a couple of weeks without an injury for you to just get that last issue kind of off your field, because you've got the cash on the bank. You know, you've got a bloke like Medwoods out there in R3.
Yeah.
If you can never get rid of him, you'll be sick.
Yeah, I can't get rid of him. Like, I can't. That's the thing. So this week, obviously, with Whitfield, with the concussion, it's more of a probably gonna have to keep him and just try and do that final upgrade, and then hopefully there's no injuries this weekend, and then we can have a full 22 the week after.
Yeah, lovely. What about the Wash-Up League, mate?
Yes, mate. So I'm not sure I should go through the bottom scores, because there's a couple of clear-cut ghost ships, I'd say. So
we don't want ghost ships, but and I don't blame them, by the way, this year.
Yeah, it looks like Need a Permanent Name is the last place legitimate still in the game. 2,097 they scored. So
2,097. I mean, I've heard of worse low scores. I mean, he's not.
Yeah.
I was further off the top scores than he was from us, really, when you look at it.
Yeah.
So he's fighting. Yeah. Keep fighting.
Now, this top score is pretty epic. Uncle Fagan, 2,543. So that was fifth for the round.
Fuck me. Fifth. I was going to say, if I went 25.40, I'm opening up my crypto account. So you've got to actually be a little bit dirty with that. Fifth for the week with 2,543. That is massive. Okay,
they're going to come humming in, because they've got McKercher as an emergency in the defence. So they've got like Houston as their D6, and then McKercher's their D7, who came on for Whitfield, which is crazy. So
wow.
They've got a pretty good
side. Still got Dan Houston, so that's I wouldn't call Dan Houston, and maybe if you combine Dan Houston and Colby McKercher together, you might get a respectable player.
Hey, worked out this week.
Sounds like he's flying. No, that's
as Brad Hill
fair.
Traded in Hill and Wilkie this week.
So he's seen beach balls. Traded in Brad Hill. Fucking
Captain Wang. Yeah, that's impressive.
Massive. Yeah, I said a Saints fan definitely won the week.
Yeah, probably a Saints fan.
All right, let's grade the trades. So I went Brent to Rowan, pretty much a no-brainer there. I know people worried about his injury. The fact is, we've seen Rowan as a number one ruck. He was listed as the number one ruck. That's all I needed to know to go straight into that. And he backed it up with a 118, which against Essendon, and they've been a red dot for rucks all year. That's a massive score. So he's got Port again, who have also been tough. I've been noting in the ruck, but goes into Geelong, which is going to be 130 plus. So in the forward line, in the 700,000s, I think that's despite maybe the fact that it might be a short-term play, I think it's almost a play that you need, because the upside is kind of bonkers there. And then secondly, Michael Selwood went to Nas with the cash hard in the bank. So, I mean, complete no-brainers, but God, that made me bloody, 200 odd points. So, yeah, look, massive return. But yeah, I'm still stuck with these same spuds that are costing me every week, and I don't know how to get rid of them. So it's an issue. But A+ for those ones.
Yeah. Yeah, mate. They were very, very good trades. Mine went Rechko to Franco. So Franco did well for me, 86. Yeah. And then, went Daniels to Wanganeen Millera. So I don't think I could have done any better.
You did all you could.
From what I can see. So it was more the guys that I've had in the team for most of the year that went poorly. So that's all right.
Well, I think... Yeah, I mean, for your side, like, you've got to back in the blokes that have kind of got you into the position you're in. And then also, we were kind of almost tanking our teams, like with the Banks move and all of that was in the back of our minds, we need Nas against Essendon. And that proved to be the right call.
Yeah,
because
it did.
He went bloody 160. So,
yeah.
Yes, we might have kind of torpedoed ourselves in the process, but that was kind of... with our hands tied behind our backs. we made sure we got Nas, and we got the 160 we thought we might. So that was the right call to chase that one.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, winners of the week. Now, I've got to go elsewhere from Nas, and I've got to go to Harry Sheezel again. So, didn't really bother to watch this. Northport, obviously I've got Harry Sheezel, but outside of that, didn't own anyone here that, was a bit of a differential, and Northport is not really something that I give a fuck about, to be perfectly honest. But Harry Sheezel, 154. That is ridiculous. So that's back-to-back 150s. That's entering bloody Rocky, Swanee, Titch, Pig areas. 173, 154. That is incredible. So he's getting better and better. Last couple of weeks, he's averaging, 40 disposals, 10 marks, and over 8 tackles. So we speak about doing it on all lines.
Yeah,
that is ridiculous. That's Rocky areas. So 91% time on ground too. A lot in the guts. He is incredible. And an honourable mention to Will Goatcroft, who now has a last 3 of 135.
Yeah, that's a fair honourable mention. Sheezel, have we mentioned your Sheezel bet, by the way, at the start of the year?
Oh, to be the highest averaging forward?
Yeah.
So, how's this? So, sports bet, I remember someone mentioned it to me and they said, did you know Sheezel's like $1.83 to be the highest averaging forward? Which, anybody who had done any ounce of research in fantasy this year knew that that's pretty much a bet on can Harry Sheezel stay fit for the year on 50-50 odds. So I said, yep, I'll have a piece of that, loaded up 1,000 into the sports bet account and whacked it on. So there's a free way to make an 80% return on your investment. He is just an absolute gun. And I'm pretty sure if I look at how that bet's going, he's hit the games cap now. And in terms of the next highest averaging forward, Cossie Pickett at 96.3 and Shees is at 118.8. So he's got him by a cool 22.5 points. So he would have to average, 20 for the rest of the year?
He would have to be a disaster.
He's incredible.
That would be funny. Yeah, he's been good. Mine's got to be Nas. 160. Yeah, just always nice when a trade in goes massive in that first game. Would have been absolutely awesome for those coaches who did roll into him as the skipper as well. So fair play to people that did that.
I also should blame us a little bit for not taking it on. Cowardly.
Yeah, it is cowardly. As you said, we were sort of like we were planning. We have to get Naz in for this matchup. So. It was the right call, as you said. So, 160 was epic from Naz.
All right, losers. I need my BFS Rodney Eade button with me tonight. I don't know what to say about this. Tim English 53. What in the actual living fuck is that for an effort? It's getting discussed that might be the end of his career. I'm seeing people are saying, obviously he's let the Bulldogs down. That's a no-brainer. But if they're having to throw in Rory Lobb to get carted around the ground by Brodie Grundy because Tim English is doing the same, why are you picking him? Is he going to get picked next week? I might have a 4 straight there, and it won't be because of injury. Now he's got the Eagles, so that is the only reason why he's still sitting there in my team. He could get dropped. That could be it. So I don't know. I just don't know what to do with this. I don't know how it keeps getting worse, but it does. A few weeks ago, I was actually in his corner, if you remember, even after an 80-odd. Thought it was gutsy, thought he fought it out. He was going to, turn it around. Had the week off for the bye, comes back. Remember in training, what was it? Oh, he's got a sore back. Would he fucking sleep on the couch or something? The bloke had 2 weeks off and returned with this effort. So I don't know what we're doing. I really don't.
It's ugly. It's ugly stuff. 8 hit-outs, wasn't it, on the weekend? So
it's nasty. Yeah.
To Grundy's 60.
Yeah, Grundy had 60. Oh, man, it's embarrassing is what it is. And if that's the last AFL game he plays, well, it's deserved.
Oh, okay. That's fair. Look, mine's got to be Marcus Bontempelli with 63. Tagged out of it again by Jordan, and he's been a bit of an average trade-in for me, honestly. We were having a look at it before we jumped on,
it's been a shit trade.
He's been averaging 96.8 for me since I traded him in. So, could have gone in many, and he was averaging like 105 before that. So maybe it's on me, but I thought Bont around round 12 was a good trade in, but far out, it's proved to be the wrong call.
Well, almost every season without fail, Bont gets kind of cheap in the middle of the year.
Yeah.
And then turns it around and comes steaming in home, averaging 115 into finals. And we go, Bont for under $1 million, like you just do it and you ask questions later. And that's where we were again this year. We've done it, like injury concerns he saw. I think he's just shit. There's no excuses.
There's a lot of pressure on him over these next, 6 games or whatever is left. He's got Eagles, Suns, and then Richmond in the next 3 weeks. So he needs to go big here in the next 3.
I tell you, if he gets tagged out of a game by Brady Hoff, you call an end to the career. Call an end to the great Bontempelli. I'm telling you right now, it would be disgraceful. So he should go massive in the next 3 weeks.
Yeah, he should.
The doggies need it.
Yeah, I know, but he's just been poor. So it's a lot of pressure on.
Alrighty, let's get into the games now because we've got 9 to get through. And we'll start off back on Thursday night, the Cats and the Lions. And all the pressure was on Baz Lenker, obviously returning into the side for us when he was actually a bit of a differential for you in that top 25, owned by just 4 coaches. And I dare say quite a lot of them might have ended up with NAS captain, judging by how he fell this week, because Baz did his job. As much as we would have liked more, and it was looking like potentially it was going to be more, 126, if I say that's unders, that's being incredibly harsh. 31 touches, 9 tackles. He was epic for us once again. And hey, look, I'm pretty happy to have Baz in my side. Who's he got this week? So he has the Giants. So that'll be an interesting one. But I don't think they've really been tagging too much and been giving up some massive scores. So he could go massive again. And people have to chase him.
Just quietly on Baz and pretty much the Geelong guys like Holmes as well. Like if you look at their fixtures for the next till the end of the season, there could be some really big scores from them. So
they go Giants,
you are going to want them.
Saints into Melbourne, into Pies, into Essendon, North, been tough, and then Richmond. I mean that is disgusting.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Back ASAP.
I think so. Yeah,
he'll be good. Danger wound back the clock there. 124. He was massive. Will Ashcroft. So I said a couple of weeks ago after the 150 against Richmond, had to be flagged that was Richmond, and had to be flagged that he only had 40% CBAs. But clearly there was a bit of a role change with the freedom he was given. Chris Fagan said after this game that obviously, as Brisbane always tend to do, that they kind of had that mid-season lull. You know, they've done it all before the last couple of years. And now, okay, let's click it into gear. We know Will Ashcroft does this, the dual Norm Smith medalist. You watch him throughout the year, especially early on, you're thinking this bloke is a below-average AFL footballer. Yeah. All of a sudden, the last 3 weeks I watch him, he looks like genuinely a top 3 player in the comp. It's fucking ridiculous. So he was everywhere again here, 32 touches, 7 marks, only the 2 tackles this week. Just the 58% CBAs, but even when he's half forward, he pushes up the ground. He basically has the license to do what he wants. He'll present in the back pocket for those kick-ins. Brisbane always look for that little 45. And he plays Essendon this week. So that could be just something ridiculous. We've seen him go 150 plus against Richmond. Last 3, 135. He's looking like a top 8 borderline must-have right now. Yeah,
his last few games that he's put together have been pretty impressive, hey? So, I kind of agree with you there.
Well, you saw him in the flesh, and the point I actually almost forgot to make was, I was thinking, yes, he had that Richmond game, but he then went into Sydney Geelong, which was a concern. 2 tough fixtures. I said if he could get through that with a couple of hundreds, their fixtures open up to be one of the easiest for the run-in. So if you thought Geelong's were easy, Will Ashcroft, on the back of a 134 against the Swans and 120 against Geelong, has Essendon, Eagles, Port, Carlton, Hawks, Suns, Pies. So he could come home as not just a top 8 mid, but a top bloody 3 or 4 mid, with those fixtures and the way he's looking. So has to be noted. Josh Dunkley also has to be noted. So 115 here. That's 2 monsters in a row, 130 followed by 115. 17 disposals, 14 tackles. So we can't exactly proclaim a man's back when he's had 17 touches. He cost us in our bet on Thursday night. But, hey, Dunkley, we've seen him do it before. He is value and he has Essendon. So if you're shopping in those areas, it's dirty. But if it has to be an under 900k mid, it's got to kind of be Josh Dunkley. Given we know what he can do in the fixtures to come. Anybody else here of note? Zach Bailey, 99. He's just a gun. He could be one to look at in the forward line coming home. So his centre bounces 39%. So it's up on where they were kind of during the middle of the year there. Anyone else to note here? Neil, 88. He was okay for Brisbane. Wilmot, 82. So Lockie Neal obviously went off for 15 minutes with the concussion test. And yes, he's slowed down recently, but I think in those fixtures as well, we've seen him go 150 this year. So he's definitely got the potential to go massive as well. Munter Holmes for Geelong, 105. Not tearing, he's not burning the house down right now, but hey, 101 in his last 5. Looking at some of the inconsistency in the other defenders, I think he's just as safe as it gets, really. He's locked in there. Tanner Bruin picked up defender status, 85, solid, but I wouldn't want to be relying on that at all. And I think that just about does it for that game. Over to the Swans and the Doggies. Now, did you catch this one?
Yeah, mate, I did. Grundy, 130. Obviously, as you were talking about with the Tim English stuff, just sort of wiped the floor with him with 60 hit-outs. So, 17 disposals and 5 tackles included, and that was massive. So, Grundy owners have been kind of waiting for this one from Brodie, so it was good for him to get that one done.
Well, you would have been concerned at half-time when he was on bloody 90.
Yeah, yes, I was.
you take a 130 all day.
Yeah, he obviously put the queue in the rack. Put the queue in the rack a bit.
It's disappointing, actually.
Yeah, you can't be happy with that. Bailey Dale 138. So, as mentioned, like him versus Nick Newman has been one that we were sort of tossing up with earlier in the year. So, he's been absolutely elite, really, and those fixtures we mentioned with regards to Bont and Pelly, probably it would be interesting to see what he does against Eagles and the Suns. And then obviously there's that Richmond matchup. So,
I'd say the flag for Dale is he will get tagged by Murdoch this week. Like I can pretty much put that down as a guarantee. After that, though, like Suns into Richmond, I think he's going to feast. And he's kind of shown that he can be inconsistent in terms of he'll pump out a 60 a month. But he backs it up with some monsters as well. And look, we had a look at it. Nick Newman's averaged 94.4 for us. So it's not been too bad. It's just that Bailey Dale has been bloody brilliant. And he's got to be a borderline top 6 at this point.
No, absolutely. What else do we have? Curnow went massive with 6 goals. He's leading the Coleman now, 107. So in your fantasy leagues, that's probably not a bad one to have a look at on the waivers. Heaney, 107 as well. Just gets it done, 27-1, casually rolls out of bed with that.
Game.
Yeah, he did drop off a bit, Isaac. 15 points in the second and 20 points in the last, so a little disappointing. Mills, 102. He's so good. Mills, 102. He's been doing well.
That's
Cheeks, as you mentioned.
For Millsy.
So down back.
So, yeah. How many kick-ins he have? So 3. As we know, the Lizard likes to hog it back there.
Yeah, he loves that. Cheeks, he went 98. I think you mentioned how good he's been. So, another pretty solid one.
In his last 5. So that's game-changing stuff in the forward line, that is. So,
huge.
He had another 63% CBAs here. So we know the rule of thumb is when he has over 60, he's a gun. As soon as it drops under that and he kind of splits that time forward, he'll dish you out 60s like there's no tomorrow. So it's been great. You just know that the cliff's coming, and I'm prepared for it.
You reckon it'll come? Because like with McInerney out, like...
Well, that has certainly... That is the thing that has opened it up for him, and since then he's dominated. And I mean, what? What did he have again here? 24 and 1. That's back to the classic Cheeksy that we know and love, like the auto kind of 20 and 2.
Yeah.
He's been awesome. So,
yeah.
Hopefully it
continues. He was a great pick. All done there. Yeah, Richards 98. Just like Bont, he's going to have that good run coming up. So, he should be good. Goulden 91. That's about where he's at. Just in terms of like getting back into it. So we'll see how he goes.
Like, let's put it out there. Goulden is going to be a forward next year and a literal walk-up lock in every single team. Like, he'll be first picked. Even if he has a couple of monsters and is averaging a lot, you just pick him there. But we saw this at the end of last year that, you know, despite him being El Goulden, you can't just come in off a fucking 4-month layoff and dominate early. So, hey, maybe in the last month, once he picks his fitness base up, drops a little bit, he's certainly someone you can consider. But yeah, no, warming into it.
Yeah, absolutely. In terms of the rest, obviously, as we mentioned, Bontempelli was super disappointing with 63. English, another one that was disappointing with 53 as well. So actually, they were our two losers. So there you go. That's pretty much rounds it out, mate. So yeah,
that's typical doggies. And Connor Buderick as well. So 15 points. Cindy done for the season. So
15.
Another draft bullet for me.
Another draft bullet, right? That actually does hurt.
I'll tell you it does. Okay, over to the Eagles and the Crows. I was actually at this game. Just a fucking nightmare watch once again. I went early. I went early with the McQualter hate. Unfortunately, the week I decided to go social with it. We ended up coming back and winning a game, which I look back on that as one of the great flukes. Like, how the fuck did we beat GWS? I do not know. But I was made to look like an idiot for 2 weeks, and since then we're back to straight terrorism. It's fucking, I'm telling you, it is a disgrace what I saw in the weekend again. He got asked that question about Will Dersma and the Rising Star 2 weeks ago. Since then, we're throwing Will Dersma as a permanent forward. What was wrong with him playing 50-50 high half forward and then rotating into the middle with 50% CBAs? Literally leading the Rising Star. He's dominating. Oh, hang on, we don't play for individual awards. Let me put him fucking left, right, out. Get smoked in the middle again. It's disgraceful. It's haram. It's haram is what it is. So this was fucked. And then it continued with, so obviously Franco, who is the relevant, there wasn't much fantasy relevancy here. Let's just put that out there first. Obviously Dawson dominated as he does. Lerdy went quiet in the second half as he does. I reckon he's averaging 70 odd in the first half and 30 in the second half for the last month. Hawker Hahn was awesome for us with 80. Went missing in the second half. The rest of it, there's not too much. Yeah, there's not too much. 0 on the last, didn't he? Not too much fantasy relevancy elsewhere. Apart from our boy, your man, Ollie Franco, unbelievable. So he came in and once again continues this trend of players getting plucked from, the state leagues or wherever, coming into our side, looking like one of our best players. And then maybe a more concerning trend is the fact that they look like that initially and then they slowly become shitter and shitter. So you've got to look at how we're developing these blokes. Because Tom McCarthy can't kick anymore. I don't know what's going on then. I still like him. Hopefully we don't ruin Franco, but the main thing is he has to get a proper crack. So in the first half, he had 50% CBAs in the first, 71% in the second. It was low time on ground, but when he was out there, he was in the guts. And he was awesome. I think he had, 10 touches, 7 tackles. Absolutely epic. Was our best player in the first half. And then when he first subs on in the third quarter, he's jogging to the middle. So he was going to the centre bounce, and Will Dersma kind of waved him off because he was obviously playing sick of playing fucking forward pocket. So he went into the midfield, and then it was Ollie that was, sent packing to the half-forward line, not to be seen again really in the guts until late in the quarter, and then a little bit in the last. So he was suddenly 33% CBAs in the second half. I just don't get it, because it was to cater for Elliot Yeo to stay in the middle, 70% centre bounces, 22 fantasy, 7 disposals, 1 clearance, going at 43%. At half-time, he had 2 disposals and no clearances. And our decision is no, Ollie Franco gets shifted to half forward. Like, what the fuck are we doing? Is someone watching the game in the coach's box? It's insane. So Franco, he should be full-time midfield and he should get the chance. I'm just saying, it's Mini McWalter, it's the Eagles. Don't rely on it. So, look, fingers crossed he does. And then, yeah, well, you look at Harley, 18 contested touches out of his 23. Franco's a beast in there. So we need someone in there fucking in and under getting it out to Harley. And let me tell you, it's not bloody Elliot Yeo. So we'll see. We'll see. That's my Nick Walter Eagles rant done.
You need to take a deep breath after that one, I reckon, mate.
I've been sitting on that since Friday. It fucking pissed me off. So
I think
anyway, Franco was a massive positive. We've just got to hope that they give him the chance to excel in the role that he's best at, and probably the best player in our team at. Let's move on swiftly back to some fantasy relevancy, although not really in this game. Hawks and the Demons. I had a late wake up on Saturday post, staying up for the Socceroos. We went out. Didn't we? Get home till bloody 4:30 a.m. So the early start in this one, missed it. Turned the TV on, like 15 to 100.
Yeah.
I'm going, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah.
So Melbourne absolutely pants them. Hawks came back in the last. Didn't really catch much of it. But obviously when the Demons are up, Cozzy's going to be up. So 104 for him here, 25 touches. Very good. Being inconsistent. You'd love to be rid of the 50s and 60s he throws at you. But he's still averaging 96 in his last 5. Still averaging 96 for the year. And he's still a top 6 forward. So he's still very good. Max Gawn, 165 super coach, 95 fantasy. So that's a little bit grim for us. Obviously, the Hawks are tough matched up for Rux, but it doesn't matter for Max. He just dominates whoever's out there.
He just flat out dropped off in the second half from a fantasy perspective. So I don't know what happened, but because he was doing quite well at half time.
65 at the half, 30 in the second half. So there you go.
Yeah, bit frustrating.
Look, regardless, he's pretty clearly R1 because Brodie Grundy, if we know we're rid of Peter Adams, maybe he could push him. But I mean, he's been inconsistent as well regardless when solo ruck. Obviously, Luke Jackson, we've seen him be a solo ruck, and we'll speak about this in the Freo game. Massive reaping and sowing there. Who knows? But the one that's not being questioned at the moment is Max. So he's just a gun in there. For the Hawks, pretty grim day. Will Day, 66. This is where, when you look at a bloke like Will Day, it's Will Day. It's value for a reason. We know he can be a gun player, and when he's up and about, it's 3 Brownlow votes, he's awesome, and he scores you 105. All right? He can also be shit. Like, really shit. And we saw it here. No idea if he got tagged, or if the Hawks just didn't touch it. I assume maybe it was the latter. But yeah. So, look, you know what you're getting for in those kind of areas. Fitzgerald, 76 here from 24 touches in 59% time on ground. I mean, the bloke is clearly a ball magnet. Went at 50% again. So I don't think I've seen him above 50% at any point. Had about half as much Supercoach here as he did fantasy. So I don't know if he's a bit of a ball magnet / butcher. But hey, Melbourne are winning. He's in there. All I'm hearing is that he's been great. So that's positive. Tom Sparrow, 97 again in the guts. He's been very solid for people who still have him. And just lastly, Caleb Windsor. Thought quite funny. 36 points, even in this massive win. So, value next season for Caleb?
That's nasty.
Okay, we'll move on. And we'll move on to the Giants. Ending the Dockers' win streak here. Great performance from them. Again, another pretty dire fantasy game. If you avoided blokes from those couple of games, you've done well automatically. Toby Green led all comers here, 123. Was awesome, 26 and 3 goals. He was massive. Playing forward, though, so nothing too much to note there. Something of note, we were concerned slightly with the magnets getting thrown around in GWS's last lot. Well, that got fixed in this game. Clary Oliver, 98, Finn, 96. Didn't light it up too much, but 85% CBAs for Finn, and 76% for Clary. So there's no need to worry about the role. Obviously, in a massive win against the informed team of the comp. So, yeah, look, Clary's... He's going to be fine for you. I think he's very safe here, mate.
He just had four free kicks against, so that's just what killed him in the end. But
he has his rolls out of bed for 30 plus. And Finn was solid as well.
Finn
Lockie
was
Ash, slightly disappointing as well, 87, especially with Witt going down at half time. And I can't believe this. So it was noted the other week that it was Iden and Himmelberg on kick-ins. Well, here we go again. So in the first half here, Whitfield was on 67, did not have a kick-in. Lockie Ash only had 2. So I don't really know. I swear the best plays they have, and yes, it's dirty for fantasy, but you get someone like Witt or Lockie Ash to hit up a target and then try get that hands and get the ball, that overlap run going from kick-ins. I thought that's how they do it. But anyway, they had a great win against Freo here, and Harry Himmelberg had fucking 80% of the kick-ins. So, little bit of a flag there.
That's interesting. Does he have like a massive shoe on him? Maybe they're trying to kick it like real long.
Yeah, maybe they're just saying,
get someone down the wing.
Fuck this. Yeah, let's bomb it along to a contest. Yeah, you might be right there. Anyway, so look, when you look at the other defenders and who we're bringing in, Lockie Ash still went 87, and he's still been solid. So that's all right there. So Whitfield, kind of discussed this earlier, 67 in just the 41% time on ground. And it's funny, we were discussing on Wednesday of possibly looping Hall Kahan, which I think if Bodie Ryan didn't come in on Thursday, I was going to commit to Hall Kahan on the bench, and I would have taken the 80 all day. And we kind of spoke about leaving that spare emergency just in case one of the Giants boys, and I touched wood at the time, went down. And there you go. That's just how 2026 goes. So, hey, coming in the run in to close the season, having bench cover is important. So, unfortunately, our bench cover, that was Sam Banks in this situation, didn't get to 67, so that was of no use, which is incredible to think. But yeah, it's definitely something to note. Anyway, we spoke about Whitfield earlier. Fingers crossed he is back for Essendon, and we're just going to we're going to hold him. Old Jackoff on debut, he was great. 37. Just got a great name. He's a perfect little one for your bench there, you'd have to say. For Freo, LJ 93. What are you supposed to do? Look, we speak of terrorism a fair bit here. Sean Darcy. This is fucked. They'd won, 15 or 16 in a row? I can't remember how many it was in a row. It was ridiculous. And they'd won every game since he went out of the side. Luke Jackson had become the premier ruck in the comp, absolutely dominated. And every press conference you see, I mentioned it a couple of weeks ago in the interview after the game, he's getting asked, do you need a rest? Like, what if, JL fucking said you need a rest? He basically told her politely to fuck off. And he would have just been, I'm sorry, I reckon he's shaking his head when he sees Sean Darcy named. There's no way that Sean is doing anything other than rucking. Had 57% time on ground. Luke Jackson just the 60% CBAs. I don't know. It's a massive reap so for Freo here, unfortunately. They're a better side, without a doubt, with Mason Cox as a forward, because he's clearly a better forward than Sean Darcy, and Luke Jackson in the ruck, because he's by far and away probably close to their best player, and clearly their best ruck. Perfect for modern day, rucking, the jumping rules. We saw him against Geelong, just jumping straight over Paul Medwards. I cannot fathom what we're doing here. But while they're doing it, it hurts Jackson for sure.
Yeah, it's an absolute killer for Jackson at the moment. He still managed to get a 90, but it's not what we want. So yeah, and it's funny, as you said, with Darcy, like when he's on the field and not in the ruck, like what's he actually providing for Fremantle? Because if it goes up forward and then he would barely be able to get to a contest at times, surely. Like
dropping sodas up forward is what he's doing. I don't know, it's embarrassing. So, we've seen it. LJ with Darcy is like a mid-90s guy. He's still good. Without him, he's like a 110 dude.
Yeah.
If Darcy's going to stay on the side, you'd want Grundy. So, look, who knows? Who knows how long that's going to last? Hopefully not long. Caleb Sarong, he went 102 here, so he was solid. And Brayshaw continued his run, went 100.
Yeah.
So that was massive. And Murphy Reid also 77. So, look, he's been solid in that forward line. It's not setting the world on fire at all. And I would say his fantasy scoring lacks probably those couple of extra marks, or definitely doesn't really tackle. So, gun player, but I think, when you get the chance, I'd be looking to move him on. And Hayden Young had 43% time on ground. Did he get injured again, or...?
Yeah, he did. What happened to him? Sorry, I can't remember what happened. He strained something.
Yeah.
Probably his hammy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Poor bloke.
Okay.
All right. Suns and the Pies, mate.
All right. Yeah. Zeke Uland scored 146. What?
Mate, I'm sorry. You're in top 10 2026 chasing a great cat mode, all right? I'm in 2027 pre-season mode, all right? So I'm looking out at this, and
Nice.
Zeke Uland, so we kind of bagged him at the start of the season.
Got
to put this out there. I can see the Errol comparisons now. So
Nice.
146 with 16 marks, 24 kicks, 146, as I said, out on that wing. I mean, that is pure Errol 2.0. And kind of looking at his scores, so before his bye, he had one score above 55 for the season. One score above 55, consistent time on ground, kind of like low to mid-60s. After the bye, 77% time on ground against the Cats, then against Freo 77 and Pies 79. The cramps, was hit by the cramps a lot earlier in the year, poor Zeke. Looks like he's building his fitness base. Went 60-60, then an 86, which was his career PB at the time, into a 146. So
it's crazy.
He's only going to get better. He's a defender mid. You'd be psychotic to have him, although, bloody hell, I wish I had him and not Banks at the moment. It'd be bold to get him in this year. But hey, if your season's done, you want a fun team, maybe bring in Zeke. I don't know. But for next year, definitely. One for us to keep an eye on, for sure.
Yeah, no, really impressive. Fair play to him. John Noble, 130. So he had 3 kick-ins as well. Zeke's brother Bodie had 8. So, I guess he's back. He was down back again instead of out in that wing.
Yeah, I think he was initially out in that wing again, was doing fuck all, went back and, had a 87-point second half, 57-point third term. So, look, that was massive, but the Suns lost again. So, that has to be a flag.
Yeah, they're in tatters, the Suns. Took Miller 111. That's a pretty solid one, obviously, for so there's some owners in the top 1% that do have him. So
that's your classic.
Big.
That's your classic unk pick. That one, if I can put it that way. Nobody who hasn't been playing the game for 10 plus years has Took Miller. But I had a look at his scores. It hadn't been that exciting until this one. But hey, that's a great score.
Yeah, it's solid. I mean, sometimes, some non-exciting scores, as long as they're above in the 80s and beating some of those other fraudulent forwards,
That's fair.
Yeah. Nick Dacos, 111. As a lot of people obviously would have iced him, and that was probably a blessing in disguise as you went into Naz or Sheasel. So there you go.
Yeah, it was a nice little 110 for you. Like, still good, still ticks it over, and, gave you a reason to chase those big ones. I was harsh on Toke because all year, every time I check, right, he's down at maybe 30% CBAs. Like, he's never up there. And I figure, he's no chance of getting the midfield mix. He had the most CBAs for Gold Coast. Right. He had 29, 85% CBAs, Anderson 82, then Rouse 62, and Adensall 47. Track out completely, 24%. So there you go. That's a massive change from what they had been doing. And you want to continue on the game. I'm interested to see if that was the first week that's been like that.
Yeah, have a look.
Well, I've got it up now. It was 22% last week and 85 this week. So, and his highest, he had one game above 60, and that was when blokes were out injured. So, That is a clear change in role. So I've been harsh on Toot there. We have to note that.
Okay.
Clear watch for next week.
That is a clear watch, definitely. See how he goes. Big 10 tackles from him, so that was big. Dacos, yeah, as I mentioned, yeah. So just quietly, like another 31-1 as well. Just like what he's been doing is crazy. So I think he's probably wrapped up to Brownlow almost.
He got back there for 3 kick-ins, despite playing full-time mid. So
that's disgusting.
It's him and Nass are just different. They're built different.
Yeah, they are. Josh Dacos, 84, pretty disappointing. I think, did he have a really good start? Yeah, he was on 37 at quarter time and then went 6 in the second and just sort of went mediocre from there. So
what do we call that? It's just a classic Josh Dacos, isn't it? You've seen it all before.
Yeah, I have, yeah. Noah Anderson, 86. God, he started really poorly. So, he was on 8 at quarter time.
He was on bloody 46 at 3/4 time. So,
saved
massive
it.
save in the last. And I tell you, of note, is Ed Allen as a tagger. And number one, he had 21 touches, 7 tackles. So he's a good player. He's doing a proper job in the middle there. So, Collingwood would always be a team where we're like, they don't tag, they go head-to-head. The mids are going to feast. Whoever has the pies, just note that, Ed Allen is coming for the number one player. And he's surely looking at Shees next week.
That'll be interesting. Or LDU.
You can't. They can't keep doing that, surely. Hope so. I hope so.
Shees has been in crazy form. You'd have to go to Shees, hey? Petrarca, Ansel, 86. If anyone had got on him as a sort of rookie, he's been good. He was the one that Eagles looked at, hey, instead of
Josh.
So he's good.
Another player that I don't know why we're not playing Josh Lindsay. Adensall, I heard Warney note that he loves his fantasy and he's a fantasy coach, and it plays a factor. I don't want to hear that it doesn't. Like, the kids that come in, and if you've been playing, for 5-10 years, like imagine when you were 18, like you loved your fantasy and you get to like debut and you've got yourself in your side. Like, don't tell me it's not in the back of your mind. They think different.
They're
better players.
They do.
I'm sorry.
Yep.
So definitely keep an eye on him this year. It's probably too late to jump on now, but next year for sure.
Yeah. Petrarca, 84, that's where he's at. Probably actually overs, in fact.
Well, had a massive super coach here. But dragged out of the midfield. So, I think we can almost just move on here.
Yeah, probably next week for me. Rowley, 82, that's pretty shithouse. What do you say about that?
He is... I tell you, so I had a look. He was averaging 88 before I got him and 87.8 or something since I got him.
Yeah.
Listen to these tackle numbers, all right? Since I've got him. 5, 5, 8, 5, 4. So the majority of the time, Matt Rao has 5 tackles now, does he? It's embarrassing. That's literally all he does. He has 20 disposals with maybe 5 clearances and 5 tackles. What the fuck is anyone supposed to do with that?
It's embarrassing.
He's a hack. That's harsh. He's a Brownlow medalist. But let me tell you, I think Pritty's got him pipped.
What about Cooney? Coons has him
Line
pipped.
ball. No, I think Coons definitely has him pipped. Woe Woden. You got to go a long way back. The grass must be no good. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, yeah. There's no one else, really, so from this game. A little bit of a... Houston, 67. Do you want me to mention him?
Yeah,
Had 4 kick-ins.
Did he
started
start
well?
hot?
Yeah, 33 and 22. Yeah.
That
he's
he
on
remembered
55.
how fantasy, and after you said that, he got 12 in the second half. So...
Yeah. Pretty shit ass.
Fucking grim. And to go. I don't know if you mentioned him.
I didn't. Yeah, sorry.
62. Look, he was still in the guts a little bit, 44%, but a little bit of a concern because Ed Allen's up there now with 80%. He's kind of forcing his way in. Why we played Ned Long, I do not know, but he's still in there. So it's a flag with DeGoey, but he's been so good, he definitely gets a reprieve for that one.
Yeah, fingers crossed that doesn't keep going.
For sure.
Onto the Tigers and the Blues, mate. Yep. George Hewitt. Yeah, 114. He went well, 26 and 2. That was pretty solid from him.
Mate,
Jagger.
Quickly on George. So this was looking massive at half time.
Yeah.
And obviously since Josh Fraser's come in, he's come back from the VFL, gone back into the middle, has a last 5 of 103. And he's still in the 800s. So does have to be flagged. That included the Eagles, Richmond and the Bombers. I don't think Carlton... I don't think anyone's had an easy draw on the comp, maybe North. But yeah, so hey, look, Georgie is solid when he's in the guts. So if you're shopping in those areas, again, it's dirty, but he is an option.
Yeah, definitely. Jagger 100, yeah, he had 29 and 5 tackles in there. So he was actually really solid. He's been very good the last couple of weeks. Yeah, he has. Who else have we got? Shorty 59 was poor, as well as Sam Banks 56 for the Tigers. They're probably your only 2 relevant fantasy players. I know Warney has Taranto, so I guess we mentioned him, 96. He had 25 disposals. So,
friend of the pod. I thought regarding Sam Banks, I thought Jax actually put this best when he mentioned that he actually didn't know it was Sam Banks that was on the screen hobbling off injured until the commentators mentioned his name. And I wonder how many people out there, because I see the number 6 running about, but fuck me, if I walk past him in the street, I'd forget to abuse him. Because if I recognise him, I'd say, fuck you, mate.
Yeah.
So, that's harsh. I wouldn't. No way I'd say that. But it's been bad. It has to be flagged. This was like Carlton are a bloody tough matchup. Which was kind of why I was leaning HHK. And you've got to look at it. Jaden Short was their highest scoring defender with 59. So, yes, Banks was abysmal here with 56. But he had a couple kick-ins. And who do they have next week? I mean, I'm trading regardless. But they have Melbourne, who give up to defenders. So, it was a tough matchup for defenders, this one.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess we can tell ourselves that.
Yeah, excuse for last week.
Nick Newman, 88, as we mentioned. Unders here for the matchup.
Is what I've scaled it to.
Yeah, fair. Can't argue with that.
Loser material. It's terrible. I'm sorry, 88 material against the Tigers. What are we doing here?
Yeah, not happy about that one. That's got to be
junk time. No, that's no good. 94% time on ground. What was he doing?
Yeah, don't know. Walshy 69 was. I mean, we talk about
he scales scaling. To like 50. That is shit house.
Yeah, so
69. You would have held him for that fixture too. I mean, he has to be. There's players that I'm happy to put on the never again list, and it's the guys that just proven time and time again that they're not fantasy players. And it's kind of like a Brayshaw, even though he's been hot the last couple of weeks. Was great earlier in his career. I'm sorry, he's not a fantasy player anymore. Well, look at Walshy. Carlton winning. Dog shit. 69 against Richmond. He is safely never again for me. I don't care what he's priced at.
Maybe
90. Yeah. Caleb Sarong. Will Day, they're all there. Never
again.
A
slight flag on this one. Slight flag about... Yeah, well, Richmond, they were in the game. They only lost by 2 points. It wasn't like they absolutely belted them, where they have been getting belted in previous games.
How is that a flag for Sam Walsh just being a shit footballer?
I'm just saying, he might have, he just wasn't on that game.
I'm saying I don't think we should pick him again.
Oh, you don't have to tell me. Yeah. All right, on to the next one, mate.
Yep. Let's get this over and done with. What a fantasy feast this was.
Yeah.
As we mentioned, Saints Essendon. Let's quickly go through Essendon here. Zach Merritt, 116, was half back in the first half, went into the middle in the second half. I mean, Essendon are too shit to have Zach Merritt at half back. Like, you can't have Zach Merritt at half back as you're getting carted by 10 goals at half time. They were more competitive in the second half. Who else is there here? Farrow, he's actually been good since Archie went down, 84. Now, I believe Archie was touted to be back maybe this week. So we'll see how that goes. That definitely coincided with Farrow picking up his form.
Yeah.
Dyson Sharp, this is actually big for me. So I was sitting there with no forward coverage. I think you might still be sitting there with no forward coverage. I'm not sure if you've got anyone there. So
Yeah.
the fact that Dyson Sharp picked up that forward status is massive. So he went 76, didn't have CBAs in the first 3 quarters. God knows why. Had the most of them in the last, 86%. So he's got to be in the guts. He's, maybe second to Zach there, best midfielder. Had 17 touches here, 4 tackles. He's just a good footballer. So he's been comfortably averaging 60s. We'll push 70. So for the guys that maybe, flip Jagger forward and had the luxury of keeping him there as cover, that's great. And Sharpie is there now as well. And yeah, it might play a factor in the run-in and the season. So
no, it's big.
Yeah, that is something to note there for sure. Sully Roby, he was pretty good here, 71. Durham, 69. 109 super coach. So look, he fights hard and he's a good player on a shit team. And it's going to be inconsistent. Like, there's going to be games where Essendon are training fucking cones and he doesn't touch it. So, hey, look, we're going to have to live with it. It's why not kicking on last week, a little bit disappointing, averaging 88 for us. Look, we blame Tom Lynch's knee for you maybe not winning a Tundra. Might have gone early on that because I am just a little bit concerned that old Sammy might be inconsistent because, fucking hell, he's looking at the Lions coming up. Giants, he should be able to score okay against, into the Hawks, into Adelaide, Geelong and Sydney. They are going to get belted almost every week. So, has to be a concern. I scroll down here for Essendon, a couple of these names, right? Darcy Parish, right? Fucking hell. 15 disposals for 42 points. All right, 70% time on ground, 44% CBAs. Have we seen enough of Darcy Parish at this point? What is the difference between Darcy Parish and Elijah Sardis? Because I'd love to know.
Yeah, well, Parish went at 53% here, so...
He was a bullet according to some. Who else is here? Will Setterfield, 79% time on ground for 27 points. Look, 19% CBAs. I think we can pretty safely say, looking at this one, that if Will Setterfield isn't in the middle, he probably shouldn't be in the side. So you can kind of figure out that he might not be in the side next week. Hopefully he gets picked up by a reasonable side next year. And gets in the middle again.
It's funny, like, they've sacked Scott, brought in Solomon, and they almost look worse. I reckon Essendon, they are just...
Clear. They are where the Eagles were. Every Eagles fan, I think, almost could see that we've seen this pattern before. The year of injuries where we just think we're better than we are and we blame the injuries and we're going to bounce back. And you realise 2 rounds in, actually, no, we're shithouse. We've got this whole senior core that is shithouse. We're going to have to rebuild, but we're going to kind of refuse to admit it for a couple of years. And now Tassie are coming in. So, bloody hell.
Yeah.
They're in for some pain.
Yeah, they're in trouble.
Over to the good side of things. The Saints absolutely filled their boots, and fair play to them. Nas 160 from 46 disposals. Brad Hill, I'm laughing as I say some of these numbers, 159 from 42 disposals, including 27 kicks, 15 handballs and 14 marks. Didn't even have to lay a tackle for that one. Max Hall, he laid a tackle, 152. 33 disposals, 9 marks and 9 tackles. Now, hey, we love Max. Absolute gun player. He's in the guts here. Had the most CBAs for the Saints. So the role is legit. But he had been just ticking over kind of 70s and 80s before he got to play the witches' hats that are the Bombers. So flag that. But, hey, he's still got a last 5 and 98. And if you want a pod in the run-in, you could do worse than Max Hall. Rowan Marshall, 118, 20 touches, 6 tackles, 20 hit-outs. Couple goals. He was awesome. Lit it on fire in the first quarter with 55. Hey, we've kind of seen what Essendon do to Rucks this year. That's a great score regardless. Hugo Garcia. Have to flag this. This is becoming consistent.
Yeah.
115. 29 touches, 6 marks, 5 tackles. He fills the box score. Kick to goal. That's massive. Went at 86%. He's averaging 103 in his last 5 now. So, definitely a one to flag for next year because, yeah, he's kind of proving that he's still young and he's got a bit of a fantasy game in there. He can find it.
He's been
Cal
elite.
Wilkie, 101, had the 63-point third quarter, and outside of that, didn't touch the ball. But we've seen this all year. He's capable of a 50-point quarter at any point. So 11 marks, gun player, unbelievable defender. And yeah, when the Saints go into chippy mode, he can rack it up. So he's averaging close to 105, taking out that injury earlier in the year, which I think if there's any player we can take out an injury for, it's Cal Wilkie, because I'm pretty sure outside of that, he pretty much hasn't missed a game for his whole career. So he's as consistent as they come. And hey, in that D6 spot, his value because of it, he's currently my side as an upgrade this week.
That's fair.
Does have to be flagged. Their fixtures aren't great.
Yeah.
So I was looking at that for obviously Naz and Brad Hill and for Cal Wilkie. That does have to be a concern there. Cal's put up some big scores in tough fixtures though, so he just gets it done.
He feels like one that's probably a little bit fixture proof just because of he's like their fullback.
Yeah, he's gonna do his thing. Darcy Wilson 96, he was very good. Windy, saw Artie up at number 1, brought in Windy. That is a controversial decision, maybe getting a little bit too tricky there. Getting an 88 from Windy against, you obviously chasing the Bombers fixture, which is fair enough. Should have chased it with someone else, and well, we owned Windy earlier in the year, and I wouldn't want him.
Yeah, I don't know. That's gonna be you'd almost have to trade him out this week, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but he's probably got a much better side.
He's probably got the luxury of being able to do that
in full luxury mode. Fair enough. All right, on to the last game. Kangas and the Power. The score to flag here is Harry Sheasel. He's got the little snout here next to his name on footy scores, and it's fair enough. 154 from 40 disposals, 7 marks, 9 tackles. So that's like back-to-back weeks with like 40 touches, averaging close to 10 marks and bloody 8 tackles. So the tackles are the thing that's the difference, because earlier in the season he lays 3 or 4 tackles here, goes 130. It's massive. He starts laying 7, 8 tackles a week. It's going to get genuinely disgusting. So he's averaging almost 120 for the year. That's putting him right next to Nick Dacos and Baz. So he's 0.3 points behind Baz now in terms of being the second highest averaging player for the year. And when it comes to the captains that we've been discussing, the auto captains of Nick Dacos and Baz Smith, well, Nass and Shees have to be in there as well now.
Yeah. Yeah. There's that, I think, was that the 5 you mentioned earlier in the year? That could all go 150? Or was that last year that we said that?
No, that was early this year. It was in Gather Round when I was talking about bringing in Naz, and I think I said the blokes that can go 5 weeks of going 130 was Naz, Dacos, Dawson, Baz, and Shees. And they have most certainly proved that, because outside of those 5, I think there's a pretty clear drop-off to, maybe like a Heaney or something.
Yeah.
Absolute guns. Colby had a ton here, so has to be noted. Didn't have any kick-ins, so, I mean, look, as I said, Northport, really no interest for me here. You'd have to be in the top 25 to need to follow this game. Look, it's Colby. I'm not going near it. LDU, turned after scoring 41 in the first quarter, so not quite his 63-point first quarter of last week, but hey, we know this. Comes out storming out of the gate and then just disappears. And if he doesn't have that storming first quarter, then he's going to be shit. So, look, it's LDU. Luke Parker, 96 points here for you. You've got to be happy with that.
Not overly. I mean, that last quarter was 12 points. He went at, you see his Supercoach score?
Yeah, 142. So you're disappointed?
He went at 100%.
96.
A little bit. 12 points in the last quarter. I mean, a little bit flattening, isn't it? If he just gets another, say, 12 points, gets a 24-point quarter, that's all right with me. 108.
Yeah, okay. No, you've got to have high standards. Fair enough.
Yeah, but no, we'll see. We'll see what happens in the next few weeks.
Most kick-outs for the Kangas there, so they've got the great run. So, I've already admitted my mistake in terms of abusing anyone for getting Luke Parker, and he's a good option. Honestly, I'm looking through the rest of these names. Cherry, 56 points with 3 centre bounces. So to say he is completely cooked is an understatement. On the Port side of things, Hornbag, 94 points here. Most CBAs, 90% CBAs for the power in a good win. So that's massive. 90% CBAs, that's a huge number for the bag.
He's been really slowly,
good. But yeah, he's been awesome. So he's a clear top 6.
Just quietly, Port as a side have been pretty. You got to tip your hat to them. They've been pretty impressive.
Yeah, no, they have been good. It's obviously with my fantasy neutral cap on, no interest in kind of watching Port, similar to maybe a Carlton. But no, you're right. You're spot on. They've been very good. Zach Butters, 90% CBAs, of course. Had the 89. I assume he would have got attention in this one. North do love a tag. And they got what they deserve. Another loss. Anything else of interest here? To be honest, I'm going to say no.
No. Yeah.
Absolutely not. This game shits me. Let's finish this off. Look, it's injuries once again. You pointed towards some people thought they're the only one that has injuries this year. I'd almost say we've had the most. I think every single fantasy coach out there is copying fucking injuries week after week.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. If you find a coach that's had less than 15 forced trades to relevant players, you found someone who's been absolutely kissed.
Oh, mate. That's funny. Yeah. To relevant players, I love that.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I think everyone in the comp...
Sharp get injured.
Yeah, everyone in the comp has had, like... It must be over... Like, I don't know what the number would be. It'd be a lot. Yeah. So, just if you want to go into your little, like... You can't be going on your, like, shell and being like, oh, like... I've been so hard done by with injuries. Like, fucking everyone has, mate. Like...
Yeah. Oh, mate,
so
seriously, it's just in general, it's a joke. You've copped it as bad as anyone, and look, we said it hadn't caught up. Maybe it's starting to catch up now when we're looking at bloody Banksy. So fingers crossed, we can get over that. And look, I've got it written here. I don't need to go into it again, but it's the rucks for me. The rucks are literally the definition of why this game shits me. I cannot get it right. It doesn't matter what I do. Can't get it right. We go again in 2027. Fucking... You know what? I'm bringing in a ruckman next year in the pod. I need to bring in an expert opinion who might know what he's talking about regarding the rucks, because I can't do it. I'm taking no responsibility.
My rucks have been alright this year.
Yeah, why didn't I just copy that? We started with the same ones too.
Nah, yeah, we did. Yeah, mate, I'm the same as you. I feel like it kind of... I said it was going to catch up to me with the injuries. I feel like this week it did. That was kind of my feeling.
I fully agree. You could almost
we'll
say best 18s might have been helping you out in terms of fighting through the bloody injuries that you've been copping. And best 22, it makes it tougher.
Yeah, I reckon there's a few guys I look at and I'm like, they're just probably not guys I want in my side. So we'll see what happens.
I think we're at the point of the season where you can make massive ground despite us all having completed sides, because you're going to find week in, week out, it's the same blokes that are annoying us and letting us down. So whether it was a Jack Steele that people have moved on now, Matt Rowell for me, Walshy is probably one in a lot of sides where there's so many forced trades where we're struggling to get rid of them. But they're the guys that are going to let you down every week. Your Tim Englishes of the world, if you still have him somehow. Compared to if you've just got the blokes like Heaney is going to dominate every week. Max Gawn is going to dominate every week. I know that I need to make those changes to my side and I've not been able to. So, that's where the points are made up here.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see what happens over the next few weeks. What's your trades, mate?
Yeah, trades. So... Look, once again, really, they're kind of made for me, but I need bloody 3 trades. Once again, if I had the 3 trades of the buys here, I'm flying. So I have Darcy Cameron on my bench, Tim English at R2, and Sam Banks now covering with Lockie Whitfield injured. So how the fuck do I go about sorting this and ordering who I have to fix? It's impossible. Yeah. So I've had to go by blokes. I was going to say that I hate the most, but it's actually not true. Darcy Cameron, I feel nothing for. Yeah, he goes. Average bloody 60 for me since I brought him in. It's disgraceful. I don't know what to do, but why is he at R3? Harry Barnett is an upgrade, actually, at R3 there. Okay. At least he's not losing cash. So that frees me up a shit ton of cash, which, what would then be the point of me? I could go English to Max, but I'm going Banksy to Wilkie. I'll have to look into those fixtures for the Saints because they are tough. And, I don't know, after this week where Dale, I think, gets tagged, he could go massive. So, yeah, Banksy's going up to a defender, I think, for me there. And I'm happy to have HHK against the Gold Coast back me up for one more week for Whitfield. And then, fingers crossed, Whit comes back and, we can deal with English and maybe a Matt Rao next week. So I've still got 300k in the bank, which I'll probably never be rid of. But anyway, those are my moves at the moment.
Yeah, fair, mate. I've currently got going to a basement rookie, basically. Someone like that. Just depends if someone's going to play or not. But I've got Hamilton there at the moment, just because he's, as you were mentioning about the forwards, he's a forward. So we'll see what happens there.
Well, that's an interesting point, and some teams will be in the same spot because this was me before Sharp got the DPP. Yeah. In terms of you're looking at a rookie there, but you need forward cover. Because I don't think you can keep rocking, no forward cover. Because we saw in the buys, Brent Daniels went down for 28. Didn't matter because it was best 18s. If the forward goes down on 28, for me last week, that's just straight up 28. So
the irony is these forwards. The irony is these forwards that you could bring in, are they going to get much more than 28? Honestly, probably not. So.
I don't know. Who was that bloody forward rookie we were looking at? Was there one that came in?
Yeah, Hamilton.
Yeah, Riley Hamilton, 35. 5 touches. They had a win.
So what's the... Yeah. Mate.
But number one, what's the point? They've got to score enough to even make a difference. And then number two, they've got to hold their spot. So, it's a tough one. Because, we've had Fitzy come through and Herbert. So for me, I'd love Ollie Franco, but, I don't really need more midfield coverage. No. And it's tough for me to get him in anyway with these 4 sideways trades. It's an interesting one. We need a forward rookie desperately.
Yeah, so we'll see there. And then I've got Banksy going to Ashcroft at the moment. And
Wow. Will Ashcroft. That's a big. It's a big call.
Do you reckon?
Train tracks Ashcroft. Well, no, he's got Essendon on the back of 135 in his last 3. And you saw him in the flesh. You saw it firsthand.
I don't think there's anyone else I can really trust or back in, to be honest, mate. I'm looking and scrolling through. I could go Wilkie or someone, but that would be pretty.
No. So how much cash in the bank do you have
after that?
Move? Yeah.
32.
So Will is 1. So you can go 1.046. Noah's now more expensive than that, yeah. So, really, you could afford Goulden, but you can't really justify that. And the other bloke, it's kind of Neil v Ashcroft with that run. So, no, I think it's fair.
Yeah, so that's where we sit at the moment. And, as always, it'll probably change over the week. But, that's where I'm at.
As we sit here today, Will Ashcroft has my armband. So I jokingly said I was going to do it that week against Richmond, and I fucking should have. And now he seriously has it. So there you go.
I love that.
All right, well, we'll be back to record once again on Wednesday for those Patreon members. And hopefully we're back in the studio. You have a week to recover here, and we can get you back on board after a solid week next week, hopefully.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That very good, mate. Very good.
All right. Let's go.
All right. Cheers, guys.
See you, legends.